Awesome. Okay, I think we are live now. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight and waiting on that little technical issue there. I brought in another computer here so that I can get ready to chat with all of you. It has been a while since I've done a live stream, but as most of you guys know, if you've been in a live stream with me before, everything is to the right, so I can see all of your awesome comments as we're going, and if I turn, I'm reading them. So hey everybody. Thank you all so much for joining here. My mom's in here too. You can read her comments there. But it's been a long time since I've done a live stream and been able to chat with you guys. The whole product launch happened and I'm so excited. You guys seem to be loving everything, which I'm so happy for. We had to keep it under wraps for, quite some time, but I'm so excited for it to finally be out. And it's really awesome to work with my own products now and kind of share projects with things that I've created. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining. You can find my ink pads, so down below in the description box, right below the video, there's links to all the products I'm going to use today. So there's links to Perfect Pearls down there, some of the products that we'll use, and then also my whole product line is linked down there as well. So you can find all of the inks down there and links to everything, and those links help support me too. So if you want to give me a little percentage as well without any extra cost to you, I really appreciate that. Okay, awesome. So without further ado, let's turn down to my work surface and get started. I have lots of fun things to share with you guys tonight and some cool ways to incorporate them into your projects. So I'm excited to share that. So let me flip down to my desk camera and we can kind of move it back and forth between them. So today we're going to be working with Perfect Pearls in some of my products. So I'm going to be using the Flower Garden background stamp first to create the background here. And I'll be reading your comments as I go. My inks are available on rangerink.com right now, and I think they're available, some of them are available on scrapbook.com as well. But Ranger has them all in stock. So this is what we're going to be creating first. And look at that. A card day's work, you got them already, that's so awesome. And now you're just waiting on your stamps and stencils. Well, I'm just so excited to see what you all create with it. So this is using my Flower Garden stamp. And the Perfect Pearls in the background. So let's get started to create this. Now I've got to be honest, Perfect Pearls, I wasn't in love with them a little while ago, but I found a great way to keep them contained because they are a powder, so to keep them contained and not really create a mess with them. And having the colors too really creates some cool projects. So they have different metallic ones and pearl ones, but having the pearly color is really awesome for your projects because I love the bright colors. So they are so awesome. I'm so glad you guys like the Perfect Pearls and I am excited to share them tonight. So I've been playing with them all day and creating projects, and now we're going to be creating something here on live. Greetings from South Africa, hello! Awesome, okay. So here is the Flower Garden background stamp, and it's the red rubber background, and I'm going to go in with some Perfect Medium. Now this is an ink pad, and it's basically like a glue-based ink pad. It's a little bit different than embossing ink just because it's thicker and it'll hold on to the powder a little bit better than embossing ink would. You might be able to get away with that though, but Perfect Medium I really recommend for using with the Perfect Pearls. I think I'll share later how to kind of set the Perfect Pearls onto your cardstock once we're done with the project. So I'm going to take the Perfect Medium and just ink up this surface. And again, it's that really thick ink, so you're going to be able to tell where it is on your stamp because you can kind of see that shininess, and you can see it some other places on the stamp too because I didn't clean it fully earlier. So I'm just going to ink the stamp up. Hey everyone, it's so awesome to see you all in here. It's been quite some time since we've done the lives, and it's always so much fun to sit down and craft and chat with you guys, and let me know in the comments if you're crafting as well. It's always so much fun. I love sitting down and watching other people's lives and then, chatting with all of you guys as well. Thanks so much, Tracy. I love this background. It's really awesome and the detail in it is so nice, but I like the fact that it's that solid stamp because it's still got a little bit of that detail in it, but I love that it's solid because you don't have to color it all in. And it's great for techniques, so if you want to do like water on it, or a technique like we're doing today, it really is awesome rather than having to color everything in with fine lines. So I'm going to just set this down on top. Do you've missed watching me? Well, I've missed live streaming for you guys as well. Belinda, I quit doing lives just because things started really picking up at the end of that year there. With all the designing and then, you know, going to Creativation and packing for all that. It was really quite busy. How do I keep up with all the comments? So that's why I was a little bit late today, because on the side here, on the side of me, over to my left, I keep my computer over there so that I have all the comments coming in on a bigger screen. So it's really easy for me to kind of turn and read them as I'm going. I probably don't need to apply as much pressure as I am, but just apply pressure everywhere where you see. Oh yes, definitely. I will definitely share other fun techniques using this background stamp. I love it. So Kelly designed this with me. We kind of go back and forth when creating some of the backgrounds. So I designed the clear stamps, and then me and Kelly, our wonderful designer over at Ranger, helped me design the backgrounds, which is so awesome. So we go kind of back and forth with some ideas and design as well. Okay, so this is the Sunflower Sparkle. And I think you want to work rather fast with this. I didn't really give it much time earlier, so I'm going to go pretty fast because I think that perfect medium kind of dries a little bit. So basically what I'm going to do is take out a little bit of that powder, because a little bit goes a long way with this. And I'm just going to work on a sheet of folded white cardstock. Thank you so much, Carolyn. That's really awesome. I'm so glad you like my videos. So see that, look, we put down a lot of powder right there, but then I could take that and spread it to other areas of my background. So that perfect medium really grabs a hold of everything and holds that tight. So I'm going to just press that in the area. Now I used a little bit too much, I think, in this one area, so I'm just going to kind of pick up some of that and move it off. You can just tap it off there. And I'm just going to, with my brush here, this brush comes with the packs of perfect pearls that you get. And I'm just going to kind of tap that into the surface. And so you want to really make sure that that gets into the surface by pressing it down. It's got kind of thicker bristles, so it's going to help you get the powder to stick right to that perfect medium. So then I'll go with Forever Red. And I like to use multicolors. Now you could totally just use one color, but the multicolors or, you know, metallics are really fun to use together here and create some really cool colorful projects as well. So you don't really need to stay in the lines when you're creating this background. You can kind of go around it. If you get on some of the leaves with the red, it's not going to really matter. But you can try to be as careful as you would like as you're going in with your colors here. So I'm just going to go around and I'm pouncing it into the surface, so kind of pressing down there. Hi Louise, I think you can get my line in Australia. I think some retailers down there are carrying it, whether it's online or in stores. And also for anybody who is international, if you ask your favorite retailer, your favorite local retailer to get them in stock, I'm sure they would love to do that for you and carry some of my products. Just going in here, and again, you want to use a little bit, because a little bit will go a long way. I'm probably using a little too much in some areas here, but it's hard to just grab a little tiny bit with a brush. Just grabbing a little bit, and I go onto a piece of white cardstock here that's folded, just so that I can have a surface that's not going to get all messy. So I'm able to easily throw this away once I'm done, which is really nice. You want to make sure you're working on a surface you can throw away and kind of get rid of, because this pearl is going to kind of stick to it. Awesome. You guys are all talking to my mom, that's awesome. Yeah, she's usually in the lives, but she doesn't talk too much. You guys can leave her lots of comments around here. Okay. Yeah, love to watch me craft while I'm working. That's what I do too. If I see a crafter on live, I'll usually just join their live stream and not chat a ton, but usually while I'm getting work done. So whether it's school work or design work, usually I just sit down with a live stream and join other people's to kind of watch what they are doing. It's always so much fun to watch other people. So I'm going to just kind of tap off my brush. To clean this, I just go off to the side over my garbage can and kind of get the brush out of, the color out of the brush, and then you're able to continue on and use it with other colors as well. Okay, the comments are going by fast, but I'm just going to continue. Here I'm going to go in with, let's go in with Forever Green. And I find that the lighter colors work better. They kind of really pop off the surface and create that beautiful, color that really stands out. So I'll put some of that powder off to the side to get started, and then I can go in and, let's see, I want to tilt this just so I can see kind of where my green is going. Let's see. We're going to just put some in all the different areas where it has these leaves. This is such a fantastic background. I love that it's that solid area because you can do really cool techniques like this where it's like coloring in the background and not really coloring though with, different mediums and things like that. The solid stamps are so much fun to work with like this. So I'm just going to go in here. Let's see. Okay, and using the pearls, pick up the pearl from the lid so you won't waste so much. Oh, so maybe you can grab some from here and kind of dump some into there too. That's a great idea, and then you could put it right back into the jar too. That's a really good idea to kind of preserve more of that pearl and not waste as much. That's a really good one. So I'll just put it in the lid. And then you're right, instead of having the waste go onto the cardstock, you can have it go right back into the jar once you're done. I love that. Thanks so much. You have to seal it. Okay, so I'll share that in just a second once we're done here, because you don't really have to seal it, but you do have to use something to kind of, I'll show you quickly. It's not too difficult to do, and you don't really need any special products to do it with. So I'm just going to, let's see, I think my leaves are all done. One right there. Okay. And then, once again, I'm just kind of wiping it off to the side. What brush is best? This one I really like because it's got those stiff bristles. This is just from Ranger, and it comes right in the pack. And if you get a pack of Perfect Pearls, it comes with it. And that's really good for using with the pearls. But if you have, just a stiff bristled brush that is quite compact, it'll work really nicely because you want to kind of push the bristles into the cardstock. So that it really spreads that pearl out, and then make sure that glue is really, sticking to it and really grabbing a hold of all the pearl. So I'm just going around here, and you don't have to, use multiple colors if you want to, and if you just have a pack of maybe 4 pearls or, different packs of them, you could definitely just go in with the metallics or whatever colors you have and just do the full background. It's really awesome. And you could just do stripes. It's really up to you what you want to create. And I'll share more examples of how to kind of create with these in just a second. So I'm going to then go in with, I love this. This is called Grape Fizz. I'm just going to pop some in the lid there. Again, just grabbing a little bit of it, putting it in the lid, and then I'm going to pounce that into some of the smaller flowers on the background. So let's see, there's one right there, and it's pretty easy to see this. This perfect medium is pretty sticky, and you can definitely see the difference between that and the cardstock. So it's pretty easy to see where I want to apply my next color. So then I'll put the excess back in. Oh, that's awesome, Louise. It's your very first live. And yes, definitely. If you guys have tips, for sure, share them. I love to hear what you guys are thinking and what you do at home that's really successful, because that was a great tip. Thanks, Louise. So I'm just going to take, I forgot what this color was. It's a dark green color. I'm just going to, again, pop some in the lid. and then pounce it onto the surface. So much fun. Okay, so I'm just going to finish it off by going in here. And some of those darker colors you're not going to see as well on this dark cardstock, which I kind of like. It adds some subtlety to some of them. But these colors are going to work really great on lighter colors of cardstock. So definitely you can use this on white cardstock too. It doesn't just have to be black cardstock. So what a mess, right? Like, this is quite messy once you're done, but that white cardstock contained it quite well, and now I'm going to share how to kind of clean this up and finish it off. So to start off, I just like to, if I've used lots of colors, you're not going to dump them back in. If you've used just one, you can fold up this cardstock and put the pearl back in, but since we've used all of these, you can't really mix them. Or you could, I guess, and use that all in one project, but it might just make a not so pleasing color. So once we're done with this, there's still some pearl in that background and some color that we don't really want on there. So let me show you how to kind of fix that. So I'm going to go back to my face camera here. Hi guys. And I'm going to be using a surface sweep to get this off. Now this is just a big Nuvo brush. Okay. I'm not really reading the comments right now, but this is just a big Nuvo brush, and it's used to kind of clean off your surface if you're using glitter or things like that, but I find this to be super useful to sweep off the surface. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to go over to my garbage can, which is right over here, and all you need to do is just swipe it off here. So I'm just going to hold it up pretty high, and this just gets all of that pearl off the surface of that. So I recommend buying this tool. If you have perfect pearls, or if you want to get perfect pearls, using this really changes your experience with them. There are, brushes you can use to get them off, but this one just has soft bristles, really super soft, that sweep it kind of off really easily. You've one set, but you never opened them. Well, I think after tonight, you guys have to open your perfect pearls and try them, because you're going to want all of the colors. It's so much fun. So this really helps to get that off. A Swiffer duster does too, yeah. I think probably as well, yeah, that would really help. And I use that for cleaning, so if there's any perfect pearls over my surface, I use that to clean it all off, the Swiffers. Hey Trudy, did I get a new camera set up? So actually this is just, I have a camera in the front there and then one on top. It's not quite new, but I did, this one's a different camera than I usually use for my videos. So you don't really want to swipe off with the little tiny Ranger brush, so this one works really nicely for that. It really covers the whole surface quickly and super easily. So, 2 different brushes you can use, and I have that linked down below as well, which is really nice to get all that color off. So now let me switch back down to the craft cam, and look at that. So that is such a stunning background, and I love how that looks with my background. It looks so beautiful. So much fun. And when I tilt it in the light, you can really see that metallic color that shines there. It's almost a little bit subtle until you tilt it, and then you're like, whoa, it looks so beautiful. So now let's talk about how to set this perfect pearls. So it's pretty easy to set. And also, I really love this because it's similar to kind of foiling. It gives you like a similar effect with that shine, but it's not as much work, because I don't love doing the laminators, and sometimes it doesn't always turn out for me. Don't get me wrong, I love foiling, but this makes it super easy as well to get kind of that similar effect. Am I going to do cube size? Well, maybe that's a if you guys buy my inks and really enjoy them, and if there's a high enough demand, then we'll make cubes for them too. Okay. So I'm using the Distress Sprayer. I like this because it sprays pretty fine mist, and I'm going to hold this off to the side. Now when I spray and I want a fine mist, I hold my sprayer up like this. So I'm not going to hold it up here. I'm going to just go off to the side here, and you'll see kind of the spray coming on screen. And I'm just going to spray this pretty vigorously. Now you'll see it's kind of warping my cardstock and making it turn up like this. But then what I'm going to do is just heat set this. This is going to really easily cure my perfect pearls. So like I said, you don't need any spray or anything like that you have to go out and buy. It's literally just water in the bottle. So all you have to do is just spray water over top of the pearls, and it'll cure them really nicely. So I'm going to just clean up my water on the surface, and then I can keep heat setting this. And if you want to too, you can get rid of any larger pools of water. Okay, we're almost done. I just need to heat set the back side now. And this is going to bring the paper back to flat. If you heat the front and then heat the back, it'll kind of unwarp it. I believe you can get it for Australia. I think you can. They do have it with different plugs, if that's what you're asking, for different wall plugs. We used those at Creativation. It's the Ranger heat tool. We used them at Creativation, and we accidentally brought the wrong one for my table, but we had to go out and find one. It was quite funny, so we couldn't plug them in there, but we found one that worked for the plug. So I think they do sell them in different styles of plugs as well. So look at that. It's all set. Now there is a little bit of pearl on my hand from when I was creating them, but it sets it on the surface there, so it's not going to really rub off onto your hand there. Not too much. I mean, there's a little bit, but if you want to make it perfect and really set it, you definitely can spray it. But the water pretty much sets it with a couple sprays of water. Oh, you gave all your perfect pearls away. That's so sad. Okay, so I'm going to just spray a rag, and then to clean off your fingers when you're working, because there's some metallics on my fingers, I'm just going to quickly wipe it off. These are, they kind of set with water, but they also clean off pretty easily off of your fingers. So I'm just going to wipe my fingers off onto a cloth there. And there we go. So look at that fun background. And then to finish the card off that I created, all I did was go in with my stamps. Now this is the Space Training stamp set. Let me show you that quickly. I have it linked down below as well, so you guys can definitely purchase this stamp set. It's a really fun one. So I want to show you guys something as well. So my mom was so sweet the other day. So what we did was we created this stamp set. This is a really fun one, so you can put the animals inside the space helmets, you can put the little fish and bird inside of the space helmet, the little boy inside there, and then we gave you this whole alphabet. And I thought of some words that you could spell with it to kind of coordinate with some of the sentiments that I put in here. But my mom went online the other day and typed in all of the letters there too. So you can spell all of these different words with, you know, the stamp set, which is really awesome. So if you have the stamp set or bought it, maybe pause the screen here if you want to, you know, use some of those words. And I'm also going to type those out on my blog too. So when I use that set, I'll have it typed out on my blog, all the words you can create, because I got lots of questions about that on Creativation, but look how fun that is. And then for this, I just heat embossed it onto some vellum and adhered it down with the word hey. So it's pretty simple, but it really stands out with that fun, shiny, perfect pearls. I've never used Pearl X, Trudy, but Perfect Pearls are a powder form, and I think maybe Pearl X is a watercolor, I'm not quite sure. But these are really awesome. Okay, so now let's move on to the second card that I was going to create. So the second one that I created beforehand was this one with that little astronaut bear. It's so much fun with the little action wobbler there. I'm not going to create this one on the video here because it's similar to the one that we just created, and I use my inks in the background here. So I use my inks there. You hope my mom gets some royalties for that. I love that. And then I have the inks that I blended in the background, and then I used some silver kind of white powder for Perfect Pearls powder for it. And I put that on top, and again, it almost looks like foiling. It's super awesome. So when you look at it straight on, it doesn't look like much. When you tilt it, it's got that beautiful pearl shine. And then we used that little astronaut from my Space Training stamp set, and I love how that kind of tilts on there with that little action wobbler. So fun, am I right? So I did this one earlier. Now let me show you a really fun, kind of more sophisticated card using the Perfect Pearls, but this one is so much fun. Again, everything will be linked down below for all the products I used on these. Okay, so let me show you something as well. I also did the perfect pearls with my handwriting. Now my handwriting is nothing super special, but if you want to do a little bit of calligraphy on there, you can definitely do that too. So I just did that with, let's see, where did I put it? Here we go. There's perfect pens and there's also Emboss It pens from Ranger, and they both hold the powders pretty nicely. So look at that. You can really create your own fun color there. Love that. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, let me bring in another sheet here, and I'm going to do kind of a more sophisticated technique with the perfect pearls. So I have the tree stamp, and this is from the Trampoline Friends stamp set. So in this one, I have this fun trampoline down here, and look at that fun texture on it. It looks better in real life. I don't know if I can capture it too much here on video, but it's got that real net texture, which I love. And I have all these fun little animals. You can make jump, you can make interactive cards with it, but I included this big tree that basically covers like part of the front of a card, which I love, and I wanted to kind of share, you know, you can incorporate it with these animals, but you can also incorporate it by itself. I think it's a beautiful tree, maybe for a sympathy card, or just, you know, a friendship card you can put, you know, two little critters walking. So, I'm glad you guys love these sets. I had so much fun designing them, and those clear stamp sets I drew all myself. So it was really awesome to see my sets come to life. And this one, this trampoline stamp set, I actually drew when I was 11, and I was hoping to get it made into a stamp set. And like, what, 5 years later, this we finally made into a stamp set. So it's super awesome to see that come to life with Ranger like that. Okay, just catching up on some of the comments here. I'm going to put a piece of dark blue cardstock right into here, into my Misty. This is my mini Misty. That's your favorite stamp. That's so awesome. Thanks, Fatima. So I'm going to use the perfect medium again, and I'm just going to ink that up. So just inking up a clear stamp. And these are photopolymer stamps as well, so they're really nice and high quality. And the stamp sets are 6x9, so they're huge stamp sets, but we included lots of versatile images on them because I wanted you to be able to use the set tons of times and have it be, you know, staples in your stash. So it's really important for me, instead of just making, you know, sets you can use once or twice, I wanted to be able to make sure that you guys can kind of switch the images up in them and use them however you want. What am I working on for my next product release? Well, I can tell you that I'm working on them, but I'm not going to share exactly what I'm doing, but I have some fun stuff planned for my next release. It's going to be an awesome one. It's super cool to be designing products now because I'm able to create things that I've always wanted, so it's really awesome. Yes, I agree. I love kind of chatting with everybody in the chat here. It's super awesome to be back on a live stream. I haven't done this in such a long time, but it's really great to see you all again here. So let's see, what do you guys think? Should we add a little bit of color, or should we make it all one color? Let's see. Okay, let's see, guys. Everybody comment, should we do colors, or should we just do a pearly kind of look for a more sophisticated card? Because we can add some colors to the leaves and things like that, which I think might look pretty cool. What do you think? You love watching me. Well, thanks, Jips. That really means a lot. Add color. Okay, awesome. Let's do it. So I'm going to do the Forever Red first, or actually let's use some colors we haven't used so far. So I'll use, let's see, Pink Gunball we'll use. We're going to put it right into the lid here. I'll just add a little bit of color here. And in fact, at Creativation, I actually took this tree and I heat embossed it, and I just watercolored it with kind of rainbow background to make it look like it's a sky scene behind it. And that was a really great sympathy card. Lots of people loved that. So if you're not into all the critters, or even if you love the critters, but, you know, still like to switch it up, sometimes with sympathy cards or, you know, more sophisticated cards, it's really easy to take some of the images from the sets and use them for more sophisticated cards when you're creating. So let's go in with some mint. I love this color too. Or actually, let's go in with turquoise. This is a nice blue color. I think that would look better with the pink. Okay. So let's add some to the lid here. And I'll throw down a little bit of that blue color. So much fun. I love how this turns out. Okay. So again, when you're using the perfect pearls, I find it best to press it into place. So you want to have a pretty firm hand when you're doing this. Not just lightly pressing it over the surface, but really kind of pushing it into all of your image here, all over the place, because that's going to really help it stick and stay as you're moving around with your project. So let's go in, let's see, next let's use some Sunflower Sparkle. So we're using some of the colors we used in the last one as well, but I love these super bright colors on that darker cardstock. Yes, that yellow looks really awesome. And I love doing combinations of pink, blue, and yellow, or red, blue, and yellow, as it's kind of the primary colors. And so when they mix, you know, you're going to create some really cool colors, and they always look good together too, I think. You'll see that I use that color scheme pretty often. Okay, so let's see. Let's go in with some Forever Green to finish it off, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to tap some of that into place there. And then sometimes I like to go around and just make sure that everything is pressed into place too, and just push everything down. Make sure that it's going to stay in place really well. This is going to be gorgeous. I agree, Trudy. I love these powders. They're so much fun to work with. And I just pulled them back out of my stash today, and I thought this would be kind of fun to use. So again, let's go back to the face cam here. Hey everybody, we're using that surface sweep once again, right over my garbage can. I keep my garbage can open right next to my desk. It's a pretty big garbage can, and anything that doesn't work out gets tossed right into here. Or if I'm making a mess, you know, I just dump it right off my desk. So quickly using that surface sweep to just wipe off everything on the surface. And again, anything that you guys see in this video, if you like anything that I'm using today, I would love if you use the links down below in the description box, and that helps support me as well, which is really super nice of you guys to be using some of those links. Okay, let's see. Let's go back down to my craft cam. Okay, and look at that. I love how that looks. I think that looks super stunning. And if you wanted to, that brush, the surface sweep, it's linked down below in the description at scrapbook.com, and it's a really nice brush from Tonic. Okay, so look at that fun tree, and all you need to do then is just add a quick sentiment to this card to finish it off. Maybe we'll finish it off here on live actually. So let's finish this one off here. I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to just grab, actually, I'm going to need to grab my Fiskars trimmer. I don't really use this trimmer a ton, but for the technique that I want to do right now, I use this quite a bit. And I find that these guides, I don't love them. I prefer a guillotine trimmer, but for this technique, it's pretty nice to have. Now you could definitely go in with a ruler and create a straight line with an X-Acto knife. This is just a little bit easier for me to do, so I'm not great with an X-Acto knife. Okay. Now you want to buy all the colors. That's so awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, so sorry that I can't catch every comment here, but I want to make sure that I keep going so that it's pretty interesting for you guys. So I cut it right up to the line of those trees on both sides there. Yep, perfect medium is what I use to stamp with. No, do you guys, everybody keeps saying about the new camera. I think you guys are really liking the new setup, but it's actually just, I've been using the same same thing. So I really am glad you guys are liking the camera setup. Okay, so let's go in here. I'm just going to use my scissors here to quickly fussy cut this out. I'm not going to go too into detail here. I just go right around the edge and quickly leave a little bit of border. So I leave a little bit of that blue. And I do this quite a bit with card making, where I just cut off that little bit and leave a straight edge on some of it. I think that looks really awesome, and it's a really stunning way to mat your card. When there's not a ton going on, this is a really great way to do that. You think you all just missed me and that's why you love the camera setup? Well, I think I'm just so glad to be back on here. It's really great to chat with you guys. Oh, and also, I named this Stamp with Simon, and I think that maybe, I don't know how many times a month, maybe twice a month, I don't know, once a week. I can't really promise anything, but every once in a while I'll hop here on live and it'll just be called Stamp with Simon, and we'll explore different mediums each time and kind of work together through the medium. So I'll kind of practice that day, and then I'll come on at night and share that new thing that I'm working with you guys. So it's a really great way to kind of sit down and chat with you. It'll not be a normal tutorial video, so it won't be super quick and precise. It'll be more like what we're doing tonight, where it's kind of more chatty and I get to talk to you guys and connect to you guys, and we explore some crafting mediums together. So if you guys want to sit down for some of these and craft with me using some of the things, if you have them in your stash, that's always awesome. I love sitting down and chatting with you guys and crafting as well. So I hope you guys are up for that idea, because it's always fun to sit down and chat rather than just film a regular video. Okay, so now let's go in here. I'm going to spray this with water. I totally forgot doing that. You've missed chatting with me? Well, I'm so glad to be back here and chatting with all of you guys. And it seems that you guys really like that idea, so I'll be back for sure. Okay, so I've sprayed this with water quite a bit, and then I'm going to just make sure that some of those areas where there was too much water, I'll just kind of blot off the surface there. Okay, so just quickly heat setting this. Okay. So then once I'm done with that, you can see that beautiful background, and I don't use that Fiskars trimmer a ton because I need to buy a new blade for it too, but I usually use the Tonic guillotine trimmers. I haven't used that one in a while, but it doesn't really create the smoothest edge possible. Just gonna wipe away some of the water there, but look at that beautiful, stunning, perfect pearls. I love how that looks. Okay. Yeah, you know, I love that too, that you don't need another product to set it. Just water, which is super easy to have on hand, you know, when you're creating. Everybody's got a little bit of water. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just add this right onto a card base, just a white card base. So it's gonna be, this is my stark white cardstock that I have folded into a card base, and I keep these already pre-folded and stored in my desk drawer, so that right next to me, I'll actually show you guys. I think if you've seen my craft room tour, I think after the video I'll link it on screen here. It's at the top right corner for you guys. So once you're done watching, if you rewatch it or if you just search it on my channel, I have a craft room tour, and I showed you guys this drawer right next to me, but usually when I'm crafting, it's opened, and I have, you know, pre-cut card bases that I did with my stark white cardstock that are already folded for me. And I also have surfaces like watercolor cardstock in here and little panels of my stark white cardstock. So I learned this from Jennifer McGuire to have that stuff pre-cut, and it really does help. And I've got acrylic blocks and all my tools in there too. So really great way to kind of have that all right on hand as well. So let's go back to the craft cam. Okay. I'm going to mount this down using some foam tape. So let's grab some 3M foam tape here. Did I graduate this year? No, I graduate next year. I'm a junior this year. So I'll graduate next year, which is awesome. Okay. You like the contrast? Yeah, me too. I usually use white cardstock for my card bases. It's kind of a rarity for me to use a colored cardstock, but if I do, it'll kind of usually coordinate with whatever I've colored or watercolored on the background there. But yeah, I love white because it contrasts especially against some of those darker colors, or if I did a really bright, vibrant background, it contrasts nicely. Okay. What do my friends think of card making? Well, I think most of them are pretty supportive of it. You know, the friends I've had since the beginning really definitely support me in it and think it's pretty fun. Okay, so when I'm adhering this to the cardstock, I'm going to just adhere it right to the top. So you want to start at that top fold there if you're using a top folding card base, and then work your way down on the side, and it'll kind of line up by itself then. That's my tip if you're doing a piece that's all the way down. Just line it up at the top and then the bottom. And then the nice part about that is if there's any excess at the bottom, you can chop it off. So it's really great to line it up with the top first. And look at that great contrast there. One of you guys said that, and I love that contrast. Okay, so let's do a happy birthday sentiment, because I have one in mind that's going to fit really nicely here. Where is it? Let me grab my set that I've been using. Okay. Yep, I have two dogs. So their names are Oreo and Tazo, but I did name the ink pads after them. The ink pads names are Gur and Woof. So this one is for Oreo and this one's for Tazo. Kind of based on both their personalities, which I love. Okay, so this one is called Dudes 2, and the idea behind this was to have 3 heads and 3 bodies you can kind of mix and match with the different images, which I love. And I'm going to grab the happy birthday sentiment. This is my own handwriting, so some of these are my handwriting in here, which I just love. That's so much fun. So I was able to kind of write and design all these, which is so awesome. Okay. So let's do this in my Misty. We'll grab the larger Misty since my tree stamp is still in the other one. This is because, okay, fun fact about me, I'm actually not a great stamper, and that might sound weird to everybody, but I'm not great at, stamping, especially when the card is almost done, and this is just, the time when I tend to ruin things, when it just comes back down to the sentiments. You're ordering that stamp set now? That's awesome, Tracy. Thank you so much. They're all linked down below for you as well. So I'm going to just stamp this in some black ink. But yeah, I usually mess it up right now. And if you guys aren't, have finished a card before and know how it feels if you stamp it and it messes it up and then it ruins your whole card. So the Misty is my lifesaver as well. Yep, break out the Misty time. Definitely. Okay, so that one worked right away. Perfect the first time, but it's always great to have that out just in case. You've been waiting for a set that says Dude. That's so awesome. Yeah, I designed that one with guys in mind just because there's not a ton of, stamp sets for guys. So I really thought that one was a fun one, and hopefully I'll come up with more in the future with that kind of style because I love it. Yeah, I love this. This is just my handwriting. I just kind of quickly did those letters, and I love how it looks for that stamp set. So I don't know how long I've been going right now, but maybe we can try one more technique, and then I'll head off for the night. So let's do this with a stencil this time, because I want to show that you can use the perfect medium with a stencil. Sometimes you want to think outside of the box with some of the things that you do. And using a stencil is one of them. So if it's just an ink pad, always think about using it through the stencil, even if it's like a glue-based ink pad like we're using today. So I'm going to do this again on black cardstock, just because I love how the pearls pop on there, but you can use, you know, whatever surface you want. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, let's see, where is it? Sometimes things get lost on your desk when you're crafting like this. Let's see, I'll turn it back to my face cam and let's see, can you guys see? This is just part of the mess on both sides of me, but really everything is spread out in front of me as well, and then I've got, you know, extra stuff on my desk for the live stream. So it always gets pretty messy at the end of crafting, and I know most of you guys know what I mean. I'm going to grab a little bit of purple tape. I'm just going to go in here and tape it right down to my desk. Or actually, I'm going to do this on... No, actually, let's do it on the desk first, because we're going to use some of that perfect medium right away, sorry. And then I'm going to grab my stencil. Now this is the Backsplash stencil. Sounds like your dining room table now? Yes, it definitely gets a little messy sometimes. Okay, let me read this. Yep, so you can, if you're using a stencil, I recommend to just put it in warm water when you're crafting. It's not going to like dry on there unless if you leave it for a super long time. But when you're using like a glue or a thicker medium, and I'll show you too, you can definitely see it on your stencil. And so I just cleaned mine with water earlier, and it seemed to work out pretty well because the perfect medium, you know, it's not too harsh. But if you are using mediums, it's always a good idea to wash off or clean anything that you're using. So I'll clean my stamps and stuff with just warm water, you know, and just on a rag. You don't want to soak them or anything, but just on a rag, and I'll clean it off then. Okay, so I'm going to use my perfect medium here, and let me go off to the side. I have lots of blending tools with different foams on them, and this one I just keep for glue type medium, so embossing ink and perfect medium. I'm just going to apply some perfect medium onto here. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of blend. And now the cool part about doing this with a stencil is that you can get soft edges with it. So look at how fun this is. Hey Roberta, hey everyone. Okay, so look at this. So once I pull this off, you guys probably can't see it a ton right now. I mean, you can kind of see it on the screen there. I'm just going to go in here on my stencil. And I'm going to tell you, this one has fine lines. This stencil has pretty fine lines in it, but surprisingly, it doesn't really catch on the foam much, which I'm really happy about because I love doing blending with this one. So you can definitely see that, and maybe you can see, no, it's pretty hard to see. There's a little bit of residue on my stencil, and I'll just clean that off with water afterwards. But look at this. So you can get those soft edges, which I love. So it's not like a stamp where it's kind of difficult to do that. And this is going to look great with the perfect pearls when we're using them. So I'll bring in my white cardstock here. This is just a scrap piece. And then I'm going to go in with, let's see, I'll go in with my brush. And I'm just going to do, let's do some colors again. Colors are fun. So let's do some blush to start out with. Actually, no, I'll go in with some mint. We want to change it up a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to, let's see, with this stencil, you have little areas that are, you know, it's like a backsplash is what I kind of thought of when I designed it, or when Kelly designed it, but I was naming this stencil. And I actually chose like tiles when I wanted it designed as kind of inspiration photos for the design for this one, and I really love that, and I named it kind of after a backsplash because it looks like kitchen tiles. Oh, Roberta, I'm so sorry. That will definitely be praying for you. That's definitely. Okay, so I'm going to wipe off my brush in between colors. Thanks everyone for all that support for Roberta. That's awful, and we'll be, you know, we'll be all praying for you as this little card making community. Okay, so then I'm going to go in with Sunflower Sparkle, which is that yellow color. And that's why I love our industry. You can, share things like that and everybody's in support and ready to pray for you, which I think is awesome. Okay, so grabbing that sunflower sparkle, and I'm just going to go in the area next to it and color that in. And yeah, I love how this stencil has these star kind of areas in it. It's like little star tiles. So I love to do each individual colors for each one, which I think looks super cool in the end once it's all done. So let's go in with some, let's do Forever Red here. Okay. I'll bring in that red color. And then I'll go in with a little bit of, let's see, blush. So let's go in with some blush. That's that beautiful pink. Just that nice soft pink color. And again, you guys could definitely go in with just one color if you want to, but this is lots of fun to do all of these. It's really awesome to have lots of different colors in a medium like this, so you can really use that metallic. I love when the metallic is all different colors. I find it's harder for me to work with like silvers and golds and things like that, so that's why you'll see me working with lots of color. But if you want to, and if you really want that more elegant look, especially with this stencil, would look cool with just a pearl or a gold or silver. Okay. Can perfect medium be used to emboss? Yes, but you don't have to use it for embossing. The thing with perfect medium is it's definitely a little bit thicker of a medium to use because you want it to hold the pearls, and it's like a more messy kind of medium because it kind of sticks to things more than the embossing ink will, since it's meant to really hold this in. So can you use it for embossing? Yes, but would you? I don't know. It's kind of up to you. If it's what you have, then definitely use it for embossing. Okay. Yep, I'm the only crafty one. And how did I get started in card making? Scrapbook.com actually just posted a video showing that, but I'll quickly run through it as well. So I filmed at their studio, and in my last class, that was the first lesson that we filmed, which was super cool, and I love what they do, so I'm really super happy to share that story with them too. So look at that. So there's still some excess pearl on it, so let's wipe that off quickly, and then I'll share kind of how I got started while we're finishing off the card. So quickly here again, I'm going to take, where's the surface sweep here, and then I'm just going to wipe this pearl off, and all of it, wherever you got that perfect medium, it's gonna stick, and then wherever there's excess pearl, you can easily and quickly brush that off. So look at that. Let me bring back the craft cam here. Look at that fun surface. So here is kind of from my finger. I probably had some perfect medium on there. So you can just kind of try to get some of that off, but if it sticks, you just want to chop off that little area there. But look at how beautiful that is. I love that. Just that shine on there makes it look so awesome, and the lighting is so reflective with that pearl. So I love how the colors look with the different, and that black cardstock too, it really makes it shine. Yep, so Wendy Vecchi actually has perfect cardstock as well, and that doesn't go along with the line. It's actually her own separate thing. She just called it perfect cardstock because the cardstock was just perfect. So that's why she named her product perfect cardstock. But perfect pearls are something a little bit different. Okay, so let's go in with my water now. Again, I'm going to just mist this to make sure that it's going to set really nicely. So that one I'll cover with lots of water there. And then I'll go in with my heat tool and heat set that dry. Yeah, definitely. The colors do blend a little bit. And I find that since it's that powder, they blend because, you know, some powder will get there on the edges. If you don't fill the edges in completely and you let them kind of fade a little bit, it really helps to kind of blend in that next color. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but if you know, you've got those edges with the powder, it doesn't fill in completely. So when you add that next color next to it, some of the powders go right next to each other and they blend to create that new color, which is just beautiful once you're done. Does it need heat setting? So it doesn't actually need to be heat setted. That's just because I am kind of impatient and on live stream right now, and you guys probably don't want to sit and watch Perfect Pearls dry me. That would be quite boring. So I just like to heat set things just because I'm impatient like that. But you could definitely just wait for it to dry, walk away, and start crafting later on with your backgrounds once you created them. Thanks so much, Chandra. That's so awesome that you placed an order for, you know, some of the Perfect Pearls stamps and the STENCIL. That's so awesome. Okay. So look at how cool that looks against the black. And then all I need to do is finish this off with a little critter. Or, you know, you can put one of the dudes in here too to really finish that off with a really fun design there. Let me do that quickly. So I'm going to grab one of the sets. Let's see. I'll just grab one of the smaller images here from, let's do the trampoline set. I'm just going to open this up. Actually, wait, let me, I keep forgetting. I have one that's opened and one that's not open just because I want to have one that looks good for you guys when I'm showing you the products. See you. Thanks so much for joining me. Definitely catch the live later for sure. It'll all be here for you. Okay, so I'm just going to grab these and I'm going to put them onto an acrylic block. So there we go. And then I'm going to take some of my stark white cardstock. This is great for coloring as well. And I'm going to go in with some hybrid ink from scrapbook.com, and this is going to be great for using markers with. So since I'm doing a little bit of coloring right now with just alcohol markers, I want to do it pretty quickly. So this is going to help me color those in and not have it bleed at all. So let me pull this dog off. He stamped really nicely. Let me just retry that monkey there. Again, I'm not the best of stampers, so sometimes on live you'll see me having to retry it a couple times. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm just going to heat set this quickly. I like to just heat set this ink when I'm coloring, just in case it's not fully dry. Sometimes when you hit certain areas of the ink and if it's still wet, it'll kind of bleed a little bit. So I just like to make sure that things are fully dry on there. Dee Dee, that is so awesome. Thanks so much for the support. I'm glad you bought the inks and are enjoying them and are waiting just on the stamps. That's super, super cool. So I'm going to use some markers here. Now these are the Tonic Studios alcohol markers. I love these because they're at a great price point too. So they're a really nice price point for markers, I think. And you get them in packs of 3. So for these, I'm not even going to do any shading here. Since the background has so much color and really stands out, all I'm going to do here is just go in and give it a solid color. I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch all the blending, so I'm just going to do one solid color. And sometimes for these images, I like to do that too, instead of doing lots of blending and shading, because these images are pretty simple lined images and kind of cartoony. I love the look of just one solid color, and you'll be surprised. I think it looks really fun on there. Now if it's the focal of your card, by all means go in and color away, because it can be really fun and kind of therapeutic to do lots of coloring too, if you guys enjoy that. But if you're not too big into coloring, just using one marker to color in these images can be really easy and fun to do. It's pretty quick. And then I'm going to go in with a red marker as well. Let me open my drawer here to get a red for his little tongue. And then for this dog, let's go in with some gray colors. So I'm just going to use, let's see, some lighter colors here. I'll go in with this depth and shadows. So this is just a gray color. For this one, I'm not going to do it all gray, because I do want to give this one a little bit of depth just because it's just gray. There's not too much color going on there, so all I'm going to do is go in kind of around some of the edges there where anything meets, and then I'll go in to finish it off with, where is this, the blending marker. And so this is just a really great marker to blend some of your color, or if you're using gray, it blends it back to white, which is really great. So it'll just blend it right into the rest of my white cardstock there. And this is my stark white cardstock. So this works really great for marker coloring, and it takes watercolor pretty well too. You know, not too much water on the surface, but if you just use a little bit when you're coloring, it can be really great for that too. And then I want to bring that red over into this image as well. So I'll just add some color like that. Okay, now let me go in here. I like these Fiskars scissors. Awesome. Okay. Just reading some comments. Are there any discounts or coupons? You know, I'm not quite sure. I know scrapbook.com occasionally has sales, so you guys can definitely go check there. But everything that, you know, I am using in today's video is linked down below. But I'm not sure if there's any sales at any of the places. So I like these Fiskars scissors when I'm doing fussy cutting like this. I think it's really easy to cut through and really easy to go along the edge. And when I'm fussy cutting images like this, I like to go in with my scissors and just go right around the edge and leave a little bit of a white border. But when I'm cutting, I move my paper instead of moving my scissors with my left hand. And that just makes it so that I get a nice smooth cut as I'm going. And I like to just color, when I'm doing this by myself, I'll just color up a bunch of images and then cut them all out at once. And then I could use those on future cards and projects. So it makes it super easy to put together cards. So if you're in a rush one day and need a quick birthday card or something, you definitely can do that by just coloring an image beforehand. Okay. Just cutting around here. And I like these Fiskars ones because they open for you, so it makes it a little bit easier to go around when I'm fussy cutting and make sure that I get an even border around all of these images. And let me see here. Okay. Yep, I'm 16. Yep, so I started when I was really young. I started when I was, I think 11 or 12. And so I've kind of grown up in this industry, which is super, super awesome and really cool. And I'm super excited to have my own line now. It's been really great to be able to create with my own stuff. It's been super awesome to see my designs come to life too, and have these designs that I wanted to use on cards, because I know if I wanted to use them on my cards, I know you guys will too. So it's really cool to be able to be on that design side of it now, because I love to create things that haven't been done yet. So okay, so just going around these images. And I know that somebody asked me how I got started in card making earlier, so I'll answer that question. I think I forgot to answer that. I was a little busy with the pearls. So to answer your question with how I got started in card making, I actually started I've always been kind of a crafty kid ever since I was super young. So I always went to the craft store. and kind of went into there, bought some different things, and I went through a bunch of different crafting mediums. So I did polymer clay, I used to crochet even, and then make bracelets and stuff like that. But eventually I kind of quit all of those things. I stopped doing all of them because they didn't really have an industry side to them, and no real community like we have here, which is super cool with card making. That's really another reason why I fell in love with it. So one day I went into the craft store and I picked up some alcohol inks from Ranger actually, and started working with those and creating backgrounds and stuff. And then I searched up what to use for the backgrounds, you know, how to use them. And card making videos came up, and instantly I was hooked. So I went to the craft store again, bought some supplies, and got started. And by no means were my cards good, but you know, it was a start. And then kept going, kept practicing, and you make some pretty cool cards then. And you kind of learn how to design as you go, because I was not an expert at the beginning, let me tell you that. Do I ever do scrapbooking layouts? I don't really do scrapbooking layouts. I find card making a little bit better for me because it's a smaller canvas, it's a little bit easier to work and create, and you're able to have a finished product once you're done too, which I just love. But then I like how you can give them away too, because you can make somebody else's day brighter as well with card making, so I love that. Let's see, how do I manage high school on my channel? It's a lot of work. You have to really love what you're doing in order to, you know, do both. It's a lot of work, and but it's what I love to do, and it's been what I love to do since I was 12. So you kind of just, you have to set your priorities and things like that. So let's see. You do framed layouts as home decor. That's really cool. I think that would be awesome, home decor, to kind of have, you know, photos and family pictures and stuff in those frames. Okay, let me quickly do this. I'm catching up on some of the comments, but I don't want to be too slow. Thanks so much from Norway. That's awesome. Yeah, my product line was a lot of fun to create, and Ranger's a great team to have been able to do it with, because I wasn't going to do it alone for sure, but they have been so awesome. Okay. What do I want to do as a profession? Well, hopefully card making. Hopefully kind of what I'm doing right now, where, you know, designing products and stuff like that in this industry for you guys. I would love to stay in this kind of design space industry, but we'll see. Do you use the same brush throughout or change? I use the same brush when I'm using Perfect Pearls, and I just kind of wipe it off, and the pearls tend to just come right out of the brush, which is really great. So it's not too much cleaning or anything like that. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off of the sides there, and then cut some off of the top and bottom as well. So there we go, we have our fun card. Now let me quickly add this to a card. So all I need to do is just grab another card base of my stark white cardstock, a top folded base. And then I'm going to grab a tape runner. This is the Nuvo tape runner. They've done a really great job at kind of updating this. I love how it looks now, that black. And it's got really great adhesive too. You can even make pivoted lines there too if you want to. So if you're going around edges and stuff like that. That mini guillotine trimmer that I pulled on the screen does not have an arm. However, the bigger one, which is also here on my desk, but just kind of buried under stuff, I usually use that. But for videos, I like to use the smaller one, and when I travel and things like that. But the larger one does have an arm on it, which is super fun. Okay. How do you get to buy my inks and stamps? So let me explain that. So here's the finished card. I love how that looks. and I hope you guys like it as well. So let me go to my face cam so I can chat with you guys again. So to get to my store to buy the inks and stamps, actually I don't have a store personally, but all other retailers will carry it too. So Ranger carries it right now, and scrapbook.com does, and lots of other independent retailers too. So be sure, if you have a local crafting or scrapbook store in your area, be sure to go there, check if they have it in stock, and if they don't, maybe you can ask them to get it in stock, and I'm sure they'd be happy to do that for you. But definitely down below in the description box, if you open up the description, there's links to all the products over there. So there's links to all of my supplies in the product line, as well as some of the perfect pearls that we use today. So if you click those links, it helps me out a little bit, gets me a little bit of a commission with no extra cost to you, but it's just a great way to get some of those resources and head right to those shops that you want to shop with. Yep, Tim Holtz's does have a handle, an arm on it, yep. Simon says stamp, I'm not sure. I think they might be carrying it in the future, but I don't know. Everything is still being kind of shipped out from Creativation, so more and more stores will have it soon. Okay, so let me go back down to my craft cam and let's review everything quickly. So here with that last background we created, I love those fun little trampoline friends, and you can just add a little sentiment there, which I will do once the video is all finished. Super fun. I love those bright colors with that backsplash background and the trampoline friends. And then we also created this fun one with the trampoline friends tree and on blue cardstock, so a little bit more sophisticated, and if you added just the pearl, it definitely could be more sophisticated for sure. This one I created before the live, again with that, I used the STARGAZER stencil for this one, and my ink's in the background, and then the little guy from Astronaut Friends. So you can stamp different heads inside of the astronaut helmet. And then we created this one with the flowers on it. So super fun, lots of different things you can do with perfect pearls. And I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing this video and sharing all of your ideas with me and chatting. It's been super fun to talk to all of you guys, come on here, live stream with you guys, and be able to kind of chat and things like that. So this was a stamp with Simon using perfect pearls, which was so awesome, and I love chatting with you guys and, you know, talking and sharing ideas with you guys. If you have anything, be sure to leave them in the live quickly. You've learned a lot from watching me. Thank you so much. On scrapbook.com, yes, they have been super awesome, inviting me again and again to teach classes over there, and are so much fun. So I love scrapbook.com. They're a great company to work with, and they do such a great job creating those classes for you guys. And I'm so glad they're free too, so you guys can stop by and sign up for those. This wobbler is an action wobbler. I forgot that I was on the front screen. So this is an action wobbler, and it's just going to allow it to shake on here. It's basically a little, let's see if I can get this right. It's a little plastic piece on there, so it's underneath, it's just a little spring there you can see, but it folds flat. So if you want to put this in an envelope, it'll ship right through the mail really nicely, and I love that it folds flat. I think those are from Art Impressions. Yeah, so Perfect Pearls isn't a new product. I just, you know, grabbed it out of my cabinet today and started working. I thought it would look great with some of my products, so I wanted to share it with all of you guys. So I'll pull the projects forward so you can see them. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. It's been super fun chatting with you, and I'll see you soon for another Stamp with Simon. You know, there will of course be more tutorial videos in between all these videos, but it's always great to come on here and chat with you guys. Okay. Well, I'll see you all very soon in another card making and crafting video, and on social media, you can follow me at inklipse on most platforms, so Instagram and Facebook at inklipse, and kind of catch up with me over there, and see what I'm doing when I'm not sharing videos here on YouTube. So thank you guys, and I hope you guys will have a great night. Awesome. Bye guys. Have a good one. Now we gotta end this.